Yo, what is going on guys, Houndish here, and today Trials of Osiris has returned on yet another interesting map. So this one is on Firebase Delphi, which after last week being on Exodus Blue, that was quite a different kind of map and a little bit out of the comfort zone of what we're used to in Trials of Osiris, and this map is absolutely the same kind of thing, very different kind of multiple levels, lots of little rooms and passageways and things like that. So I think it's going to be an interesting map for Trials of Osiris in general, and I wanted to kind of talk about a few things that I've learned doing a couple of runs on this map so far. So in general, like when you spawn in, a lot of teams will kind of come for this middle area where we are right here. They're not particularly doing that in this gameplay, but this is probably, if there is a power position, this is probably it in the map in general. It gives you line of sight out to all the other areas in the map, which is pretty cool, and generally teams will kind of engage here. Someone will get into the mid, and then it's kind of a battle down the left and right sides to kind of snipe people and everything like that. So, you know, use your grenades really cleverly and everything like that in this map, and it really does pay off. But the thing about this map that is pretty important, I would say, is to try and stick together as much as possible as a team. As you can see here, we're splitting up a little bit right there, but particularly around the center part of the map, because you've got multiple levels and kind of multiple corridors and things like that. It can be a little bit tricky if you lose a teammate to be able to go and get that res. So you need to try and be kind of fairly close to that res, because, you know, people can kind of camp on orbs very efficiently on this map with shotguns and things like that. So that's kind of one thing to think about. Another thing that's different on this map is because it's kind of, there's a lot of closer quarters kind of areas, or kind of medium range close quarters that are indoors. Obviously there are multiple levels on this map, like you can get underneath where I am right here. People can go up on that ledge that I'm looking at as well right there, and people do kind of use the levels and the different spots to their advantage quite a lot on this map. So it's something to kind of think about and kind of get your head around as well. Kind of knowing the spots that people can come in and out of on this map is definitely very important. A lot of people will have been playing quite a lot of PvP on this map if you've been playing since vanilla Destiny, so you'll kind of know all those positions. This is pretty useful. Obviously you're going to watch for snipers. Kind of, there's a lot of lanes that people can snipe from a long distance from outside and from their spawns and things like that. So if you are a sniper, obviously use those positions to your advantage, but also kind of look out for them as well, because sometimes if teams do split up with efficient snipers, yeah, it can be kind of pretty dangerous and interesting thing. Now, if you're kind of comfortable playing your enemies in this kind of meta, I would definitely recommend on this map, it's pretty good to actually push other teams heavy. So if you can see in this clip right here, you can kind of get the door open, use your grenades wisely and stuff like that. You can actually take out quite a lot of people fairly easily, and I find that generally, if you can, it's better to avoid the heavy ammo engagements, especially kind of across map if both teams do pick up a heavy ammo. But one thing I've found also on this map that's particularly useful is rocket launchers are kind of more efficient on this map. In Trials and the Taken King, people kind of been using, you know, machine guns and things like that a little bit more than, say, back when, you know, you had a lot more rocket launchers and options and more OP rockets. But on this map, because it's all about peeking and jumping over objects, especially if you're attacking from each heavy spawn, rockets are a lot better on this map because you can kind of pop them off and take cover again. Whereas if you're trying to use a machine gun and things like that on this map, it's quite difficult, especially if you're being engaged with rockets, because you don't have the lines of sight or kind of, yeah, the permanent access to your enemies that you might want in order to do that. So there's a couple of things to think about. I think really good snipers on this map will do pretty well. There are good lines of sight to snipe, and there are good kind of sniper engagements you can get into as well with other kind of competitive snipers. So strong snipers will do pretty well on this map. I advise if you have one good sniper on your team at least, that would definitely be a good idea on this map, because obviously if you run into a team of snipers, it's going to be useful to have that. But a lot of people do use shotguns on this map as well, so you can kind of get your range in right and everything like that. You can use shotguns pretty effectively in the narrower areas of this map. So that's just a few things, guys, that I found are particularly kind of useful and things to think about at the very least on this map, and hopefully these tips kind of do give you a couple of little ideas and things and maybe help you perform a little bit better on this map, because these maps are kind of a little bit tricky and Bungie are definitely testing us a little bit, putting us out of our comfort zone. But there you go, guys. Hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have, drop me a like and comment down below. Let me know if it's helped out or if you have done flawless runs and have any tips for this map in particular, and I will catch you guys very soon. Take it easy and peace out.